Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Smart Investor Market Update. My name is Beyond Dale, and in this episode, we're going to take a look at some of the major internet giants and tech companies, really Facebook, Amazon, Google, and we're going to see what exactly they are doing, how they are looking on a chart, and the possible movements over the next couple of weeks. We're also going to take a macro look at the S&P 500, the Dow, the gold, silver, just a general market update. Tomorrow is the 4th of July in the US, and there is no trading activity will be going on tomorrow. So today may be a light day in terms of trading activity. The futures are up slightly this morning. We see the S&P 500 ticking up nicely after yesterday. Yesterday started uh, being a down day, and then we had a reversal in the afternoon. As you can see here, this is a 15-minute chart. We started the day July 2nd, moving heading downwards, and then around 9-10 o'clock, the market started to move up, and we had a positive day yesterday. That advance has continued slightly this morning, where the S&P 500 futures are up slightly. Now, the technical picture, what we're looking at today is that the market will try and take out the 27 or the 2750 level. If we can take out 2750, the next area of resistance is up at 2800. So we're looking to take out 2750 and then 2800. That will be very positive for the markets. Looking at the hourly chart, we're seeing where the market is coming up on this level, and as you can see on the chart, if I draw a red line, we have had resistance at this 2750 level over the last week or so. So it will be interesting to see if the market can close above that level on the hourly chart. Taking a look at the downside, if the market does turn around, we're looking at the 2700 level as an area of support, and then 2675 as the next area of support. Now, generally, what I said is that this market is moving sideways. We have a sideways looking market, and this can be indicative of a broader topping out action where the market may test this high and then turn around, or and if that happens, we have to look at support in this 2550 area. So major area of support is 2550, and resistance is just below this 2900 level. That will be if you are looking at the break of this consolidation pattern, you are looking at those two levels very keenly. Any close below that 2550 level, I'll be looking to exit uh, the S&P 500, because that could mean a larger pullback. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, let's look on the futures this morning. We see that the Dow futures are up slightly also, but a similar looking pattern that is happening with the S&P 500, where the market may attempt to test the all-time high in the Dow above this 26,500 level, but if the market closes below this line 2,350, that could be a significant problem for the market, and we could have a stronger pullback for this market. I know a lot of folks are not ready for a pullback in the market. They just speaking with people, they are under the impression that this market is going to go up and up forever. It has been going up for the last 9 years, but just be aware, in 2007 and 2008, we had the same phenomena where folks thought the market would continue going up, and then we had a 50 60% decline in the Dow and over 65% decline in the S&P 500. So it can happen, and that is something that you have to be aware of. Okay, looking at the dollar still remains range bound, where it's encountering resistance at the 95 level on the US dollar index. After having a very good year so far, the dollar index is actually up on the year, after bottoming out in February, but we are coming upon some significant resistance in the 95 level. Looking at the euro currency, the euro is finding support down at the 115 to 117 area on the euro currency futures, and for the euro to start to gain momentum, we need to see it close above 118, the 118.58 high. A close above that level would signify that the market could put in or try to rally up to the 120 level. Crude oil this morning is also up again, and we are in a fairly good uptrend with oil. As you can see, a nice uptrend has developed in oil, and if you have noticed, your gas prices is going up over the last couple of months, and that's because we are having a rally in crude oil. The next area of resistance in crude oil could be at the psychologically important $75 level, and then the $80 level in crude. Just for reference, remember the all-time high in crude oil prices is just below $150 per barrel. So we still have some ways to go up in this market. Okay, so that is the macro outlook of what is happening. Let's take a look at these big internet giants that we use, or most folks use, at least every week. Every week, I'm sure you're either on Facebook, you're using Google, you're using Amazon, or on an Apple device. These are companies that affect our lives every day. So let's just take a look at what's happening with them in terms of the stock performance. The first one we'll look at is Amazon, and Amazon has really expanded their business and is doing fairly well over the last couple of years, and it's reaching a point now that everyone is shopping on Amazon. I know my wife is on Amazon, and almost every week she's buying something on Amazon, and they make it so easy. You can just buy, and within a day or two your product is at your doorstep. So it is very convenient, and the stock price has done very well also, with in keeping with Amazon. Remember, in 2008 Amazon was around, yes, but its stock price was at $40. Amazon was a $40 stock in after the 2008 financial crisis, and even at the peak of the market in 2007, this was just $100 stock. Amazon was around, but it certainly wasn't as big. We got a correction where the market moved from $100 down to $40. We got a buy signal in here, and the market has been marching higher ever since. So since 2008, the market has moved from $40 all the way up to $1,700 as of today, and that is a significant rally in Amazon. And this stock still remains, in my opinion, a hold. So if you are in Amazon, this is a hold, and the reason it's a hold is because the uptrend is still continuing, and it's marching on fairly well. A good strategy with Amazon would be to have a trailing stop, and a trailing stop essentially follows the uptrend in the market, behind the market. So that is a good strategy. So in case the market does pull back significantly, you would have booked your profit in this stock. But Amazon still remains a hold, and I believe this stock will continue moving upwards as long as the market remains, if the broader market, broader S&P 500 and Nasdaq remain in this sideways to slightly upward trajectory, we could see Amazon continue to move to the upside. If we start to get a significant pullback in the market, the Amazon will definitely be vulnerable, because most of the stocks will see a pullback, and Amazon would be one of them. Okay, the next stock we're going to look at is Apple. And I know Apple divides folks. There are folks like myself who like iPhones, and others like my cousin who hates them. But I like iPhones. I have been using an iPhone for many years now, and I guess it would just be difficult to switch now. So Apple Apple iPhone is something I really like. Now, for the Mac computers, I do own one, but I don't really use it much, because most of the trading software and stock analysis software are are Windows based and PC based. So I don't really use a Mac that much, even though I do own one. So I am a PC person and a iPhone user. Apple computer, the stock is moving to the upside nicely and is in a uptrend. Now Apple did have a slight setback in 2015 2016, where the stock moved from $130 down to the $90 region. And what this shows is that these strong stocks like Apple, Amazon, Facebook, etc., when you see you have a strong bull market and you get a pullback in these stocks, sometimes this is a good buying opportunity. So even if the S&P 500 pulls back from its current level, that what a savvy investor could be looking at different stocks to get in and take advantage of the pullback. If you are currently have a position in Apple, this looks to me like a hold. I wouldn't be selling Apple at this point in time. It looks like a hold. Again, just like Amazon, it's good to have a trailing stop. So if we have a strong pullback, at least you have booked some of your profits. A good area or a stop loss is 150, 140. If the market starts to drop below that level, that could be an indication to take some profits on the position. Notice how we're just taking a look at the chart action, because the chart action really is what the charts are showing us, is that they're showing demand in the stock, and this is stocks that I like to own, stocks that are in fairly good uptrends. And if a stock is in a downtrend, especially if we're in a bull market environment, that is definitely not something we want to be holding on to. We want to be holding on to stocks that are going in the general direction of the market, which is to the upside. Okay, so Facebook near an all-time high. We had a slight pullback in Facebook when we had those data issues, and Mark Zuckerberg was testifying before Congress, and the stock did pull back roughly from 190 down to the 155 level, but has recovered nicely ever since then. And again, what this shows is sometimes when you get some bad moves or some bad news in a stock, investors may get panicky, and that may be a good time to take a position in a particular stock. Naturally, investors with systems, with rules on how to invest, would know how to take advantage of these opportunities. And that's why, if you are investing, my suggestion is to have rules as to when to get in and when to get out of a particular stock. Okay, so Facebook touched the $200 level last month, and it's still looking fairly positive. I remember when the IPO came out, we had a huge drop where people were saying that Facebook was overvalued. The IPO was overvalued at 44, 45. The stock came out at 44. It lost half of its value in in just over a month and a half, and then has recovered from $18 all the way up to the $200 region ever since then. Beautiful uptrend in Facebook. Okay, the final big boy stock we're going to look at in terms of these big internet websites and tech companies that we use every day is Google. Google has been around for a long time. It's still around, and the stock is still doing fairly well. Now, a interesting thing about Google is that we have a area of resistance at this 1180 region. As you can see, the market tested this area, then failed. It went down to $1,000. It rallied again, tested the area, went down to $1,000 region, and rallied again, tested, and it's looking like it could be going down to 1,000 again. So we have support. This is how we look at the support area. We have support at $1,000 and resistance at 1180. So if we do break out of this level in Google, if we break out to the upside, it could mean more gains for the stock of Google. But if we close below the $1,000 to 980 region, that could signify a pullback is in order for Google. And this shows the significance of some of these support regions, because every time it hits this $1,000 region or so, the market rebounds. So that means there are buyers at that level. And every time it hits the just below 1,200, we get sellers coming in, and that's how we look at charts. We have the buyers here and the sellers here. So the question is, which side is stronger? Are the buyers stronger or are the sellers stronger? And if the buyers are stronger, eventually we'll take out this resistance level, as the buying pressure will overwhelm the selling pressure. But if the sellers are stronger, what we could see is a breach of this demand area around the $1,000 region. Okay, so that's it. If you want a particular stock analyzed or have an idea of what you want to look at, you can send in a email to info@smartinvestorcentral.com. I hope you are enjoying these daily videos. We won't have a video tomorrow because tomorrow is the 4th of July, so we won't be having a market update tomorrow, but we'll have one on will return on Thursday and Friday. So I hope you all have a wonderful Independence holiday, and we'll see each other later.